News headlines. Wife of the state governor solicits more support from women in the state for Governor Udom Emmanuel's administration. Any Keke rider who exhibits high level of integrity to be honored by state government. And this month's sanitation exercise suspended by government. Details of these and other stories. Good morning and welcome to the news. I am Samuel Udofia. The state government says the recent judgment by the Akwa Ibom State Election Petition Tribunal will not distract it from providing good governance and dividends of democracy to the people of the state. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, made this known when the executive members of Atienang paid him a visit. He said the state government will continue to work for the good of the state. Patience John has details.
The Deputy Governor, who expressed confidence in the Nigerian judicial system, believed that in the near future, the court will uphold the mandates of Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the governor of the state, freely given him by the people of the state during the last governorship elections. Mr. Moses Ekpo called on the people to continue to support the state government, which, according to him, is poised on delivering its campaign promises.
I want to assure you that that judgment coming from a court of law does not detract at all from the mandates that you and the rest of the people of Akwa Ibom State gave to Udom Emmanuel during the elections. We will hold fast to that mandate and make sure that the mandate is utilized for the purpose for which you gave to him.
The president of Atienang, Mr. Imo Eme, thanked the state government for impacting positively on the lives of its citizens through the various projects and programs. Mr. Eme said the group will stand by other Akwa Ibom citizens to defend the mandate of leadership given to Mr. Udom Emmanuel. He mentioned some of the programs of the group to include provision of scholarships and educational grants to citizens of the state, donation of medical equipment to hospitals, as well as donation of customized books to school children.
Atienang was in total support and mobilized her members to ensure that the support translated to victory at the polls. The organization has not related in that support till today, even as the governor has commenced implementing the industrialization programs.
Highlight was the decoration of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, as the patron of Atienang in recognition of his contributions to the growth of the state and the country. Also, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, played host to the League of Veteran Journalists, led by the chairman of the League, Chief Emmanuel Sifa. The League commended the Deputy Governor, who is also a journalist, for mentoring and nurturing journalists in the state and beyond. The group, which is made up of veteran journalists who have retired from the different media houses but still interested in practicing journalism, expressed their readiness to help the younger ones in the pen profession to practice in accordance with the ethical demands.
Some of us retired 10 years ago, some years ago, and the passive thing that is given to us now is nothing to write to my person. So if you can harmonize, if you can use your good offices to impress upon the government to harmonize it and let the veterans live well, sir.
In his response, Mr. Moses Ekpo acknowledged the group's support to the present administration and encouraged them to share their experience with other journalists and educate them on the need to be objective and truthful in their reportage in order not to churn out false and misleading information to the public.
You've done a good job, but you must persist in this good job. You must not relent in your efforts to bring to bear what good reporting what good journalism is all about. Let the younger people realize that the journalist can only grow and excel when it reports truth, absolute truth.
The League of the Veteran Journalists presented a copy of the Veteran Standard, a publication of the League, to the Deputy Governor. John reporting.
The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, has called on Akwa Ibom women not to be deterred by the recent Akwa Ibom State Government Election Tribunal judgment which nullified elections in 18 local government areas of the state. Mrs. Udom Emmanuel, who stated this during a reception by the women who came to receive her at the Akwa Ibom International Airport, said the government under the leadership of Governor Udom Emmanuel is not distracted but remains resolute in its commitment to deliver his campaign promises to the people. The report.
Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel thanked the women for their support and prayers during and after the tribunal, stating that victory comes from God. The First Lady urged the women to remain calm and be law-abiding citizens. Mrs. Emmanuel noted that no amount of propaganda by the opposition can distract the government in empowering the women folk and the youth in the state, adding that very soon she will embark on local government tours in order to meet and interact with them.
This battle is of the Lord. Yes. And I said it where God is so that I hear you don't know. I want your presence. That He is the one that has the power. Yes. And He gives to anyone He pleases. Yes. Nobody can assume position of authority by force. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. That mandate is secured in heaven. Yes. I can only tell you, stand firm. Yes. And see the salvation of the Lord. Yes. The one thing is sure, Akwa Ibom is intact. Mr. Udom Emmanuel is intact.
A cross-section of the women described the governor's victory at the tribunal as being the collective will of the people. They promised their unalloyed loyalty and support to the governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, in ensuring that his divine mandate is sustained.
We are all gathered here to welcome Our Excellency. We are so confident because we are going to win over and over again. Udom is our man. Maka women anyway say Udom Emmanuel. Because you need your magom nomfen. Udom Emmanuel is on the first 100 days after Iban Urwa.
Henceforth, any keke rider who exhibits high level of integrity is to be honored by the state government. The Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Towude, announced this during a meeting with Keke Owners and Riders Association, KORA, in Uyo. Imo Umana reports that the Commissioner for Transport presented a certificate of honor to Mr. Jude Anagu, who refunded the sum of 580,000 naira to the owner who left the money in his keke.
Choosing not to lie, steal or cheat connotes honesty, while honesty brings peace of mind, self-respect, and builds strong character that allows one to be of great service to God and humanity. This was the case of Mr. Jude Anagu, a keke rider in the state, who returned the sum of 580,000 naira to the police, which was forgotten by a passenger in his keke. The Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Towude, who congratulated Mr. Anagu, noted that a man of a lesser virtue would have been tempted to hoard the money. He called on others to emulate the good virtue of Mr. Anagu and commended the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Murtala Mani, and his team for taking pains to look for the owner of the money and returning it to him.
One of the keke riders, one of the keke operators, a transporter, a member of the transport family, did us proud by going about his business, picking a passenger, dropping the passenger, and without looking back, drove back to for his other callings. and discovered that the passenger had forgotten his bar, and inside that bar contained a sum in the neighborhood of 580,000 naira. The fire from Uyuino, Ubembo, Ukerewompo, Useneyiluka, Ubobo from Yimoipo.
High point of the meeting was the issue of certificate of honesty as an ambassador of Akwa Ibom State Transporters character to Mr. Jude Anagu. The state chairman, National Union of Transport Workers, Comrade Uwem James, described Mr. Anagu's gesture as rare. He said all hands must be on deck to ensure a more honest and coordinated transport business. Responding, Mr. Jude Anagu, who thanked God for the grace given him to resist the temptation, called on his colleagues to embrace honesty.
I really thank God how this happened, because God used me. It's not by my power. It's not by my power. God used me and helped that guy. Because even the problem the guy has is bigger than the money. The problem the boy has is bigger than the money.
Also, the PDP chapter officers and ward chairman in Uran local government area paid the Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Tugude, a visit in his office. The PDP Ward 6 chairman, South Uran, Mr. Edem Dominic Bassi, solicited for support and pledged to mobilize more support to protect the mandate in PDP. Responding, the Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Tugude, commended the people for supporting Governor Udom Emmanuel, whom he said has transformed Uran local government area. Prince Tugude thanked them for the show of solidarity, emphasizing that PDP is a winning team. The Commissioner charged them to hold fast, defend and celebrate Governor Udom Emmanuel and express confidence that things will get better in the state through the industrialization drive of Governor Udom Emmanuel.
Uran became totally and comprehensively a PDP local government. Joining the mainstream was being wiped by all of your individual contributions and joining. So you made it happen. You canvassed. You sensitized. You created the awareness. You mobilized and you engaged other stakeholders, and convinced by your representations and opinions, everybody saw the need to move to the right, and by the grace of God, we produced the right man as the governor of Akwa Ibom State.
The state government has suspended the monthly environmental sanitation exercise in the state for Saturday, 31st October 2015. A statement by the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Mr. Nyaken Umana, states that the suspension became necessary in view of the 21st convocation ceremony of the University of Uyo holding the same day. The Commissioner further said the action was to enable easy human and vehicular traffic for high-profile guests and visitors, as well as other participants at the convocation holding at the permanent site of the university. Mr. Umana explained that the sanitation exercise will, however, be observed in subsequent months, and urged all residents to remain committed to the monthly exercise, even as they keep their environment clean at all times. The state government is to establish a rice farm in a local government area to boost rice production and ensure food sufficiency. The Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Victor Antai, announced this during a sensitization tour of Ini, Ikono and Ibionibom local government areas to intimate the people on government's plans and programs. The report is here presented.
A cross-section of the people of the local government area at the council hall of the Rikbe described Governor Udom Emmanuel as an investment expert who places high premium on agriculture as a genuine investment initiative aimed at boosting food sufficiency and job creation, as well as improving the socio-economic life of the people. He said the decision to venture into farming is in line with the industrialization policy of the present administration, as well as the fall in oil price at the international market. The commissioner emphasized that the rice farm will include an independent power plant and a fertilizer plant for optimum performance, noting that a team of Chinese investors are already on ground. He appealed to the royal fathers to donate land for the siting of the farm, saying that the project will be of immense benefit to the people of the local government area.
People pay production. Sunshine battery is on now. People will have jobs.
At Econom, Mr. Victor Antai, while unveiling government plans and programs to the people, listed industrialization, infrastructure expansion, job and wealth creation, human capacity development and empowerment as some of the government plans for the people. He said that already youths from the 31 local government areas of the state are undergoing various training in different parts of the world in areas of ICT, agriculture, photography, and videography. He noted that upon completion of their training, government will empower the youth to start up small and medium scale entrepreneurship with a view to decongest the saturated labor market. The commissioner, who was accompanied on the visit by directors in the ministry, appealed to the people to support Udom Emmanuel administration to fulfill his electioneering campaign promises to the people. On security, Mr. Victor Antai pointed out that no investor will invest his resources in volatile area, noting that for development to strive, peace is the necessary ingredient. At Akoita, headquarters of Ibionibo local government area, the commissioner was received by the people at the council hall. Addressing the people, the commissioner, Mr. Victor Antai, said the Takada initiative introduced by the present administration is a spiritual and moral rebirth aimed at encouraging the people of the state to stand up and fulfill their potentials despite limitations. Mr. Antai stressed that the spirit of Takada forbids parents against cursing their children, adding that negative words has a way of affecting children in the future. He also advised the people to desist from writing unnecessary petitions and other pull-down syndrome so as not to distract the government, which according to him is in a hurry to consolidate on the uncommon transformation. In their separate remarks, the chairman Transition Committee of the local government, Mr. Etet Mawatan, his Ikona counterpart, Mr. Asukwo Nana, and his Ibionibum counterpart, Mr. Godwin Ayo Ekpenyong, said Governor Udom Emmanuel means well for the people and pledged to support him to achieve his agenda.
As an integral part of the state, we want to be part and parcel of that industrialization job.
I also appreciative the fact that in no long time from now, the Ijapi Kontrong Road that leads to the palace of the paramount ruler will be ready for you.
Permanent Secretary, Budget Office and Acting Chairman, Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika, seeks cooperation of media professionals in conveying the message of the Dakada campaign. After the break, stay. Welcome back. The Permanent Secretary, Budget Office and Acting Chairman, Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service, Pastor Nicholas Ekarika, has sought the cooperation of media professionals in conveying the message of the Dakada campaign to every nook and cranny of Akwa Ibom State. Pastor Ekarika made the appeal in his office while interacting with members of the Association of Professional Radio Broadcasters, also known as Voices on the Air, VONO, led by Mercy David. The story is here presented.
The permanent secretary said since the campaign was aimed at bringing the best out of a Akwa Ibom person and jettisoning the negative things, professionals such as broadcasters were in the best position to package and deliver the Dakada message to suit all classes of people. He thanked VONA for the visit, which he described as timely, and encouraged them to be in the vanguard of highlighting the numerous programs and projects of the state government meant to boost the living standards of the citizens. Pastor Ekarika promised to support the association to successfully host its forthcoming summit in the state.
I'm very glad that there is a partnership between my office, budget office, and of course the new assignment that His Excellency has given to me. No recognition that is given up to me. But I think it has something to do with the relationship.
The leader of the delegation, Mrs. Mercy David, said the body was formed to partner government and other institutions in making life better for all. Mrs. David spoke of the resolve of the association to partner the State Internal Revenue Service in reorientating Akwa Ibom people to rise to the responsibility of paying taxes promptly in line with the Dakada philosophy for the smooth implementation of the government industrialization program. She announced plans by the association to organize a summit between 3rd and 5th of December and solicited the support of the Internal Revenue Service for its successful hosting.
Part of the aims and objectives of this association is to partner government, organizations and individuals in making life better for all. To this end, we are proud to inform you, sir, that this association is also determined to partner you in sensitizing the public on issues of public concern, especially in your new assignment at the State Internal Revenue Service.
The Akwa Ibom State Command of the Federal Road Safety Commission has restated its readiness to curb preventable accidents across the state as the Yuletide approaches. The sector commander, Mrs. Cecilia Alawo, stated this during the Unit 4 Special Marshal and Partnership Safety Competition for Road Safety Clubs in schools established by the unit. Samuel Ayara was there and reports that the total of 8 schools participated in the competition.
Reminding students on the need to be safety conscious in any environment they find themselves, the sector commander said a lot could be achieved if children were better educated on safety. Mr. Lawo, who was represented by the sector's head of public relations unit, Dr. Gift Owen, said as safety ambassadors, the students were duty-bound to preach the message of safety. He commended the SMP Unit 4 for its efforts in promoting safety through establishment of safety clubs in schools and promised the sector's continued support for the unit.
You have your own level. You have top road safety among your peers. Talk road safety to your parents, talk road safety to your friends, talk road safety everywhere you go. We will support you as much as we can to make sure that you get the information first and foremost. And I have the information of the to tell you that as long as you preach this gospel of safety, God will bless you and you must realize your things on this earth in the name of Jesus.
In his goodwill message, the Commissioner for Education, Mr. Eniekan Akpan, who was represented by Mr. Anthony Asukwo, held efforts by the unit to facilitate safety education in secondary schools. He promised the ministry's preparedness to partner organizations that promote the education sector.
May I, at this point, state that government will continue to give priority attention to programs like this. Let me advise that our children must learn to obey and adhere to instructions, and they must realize and embrace the new spirit of Akwa Ibom as entrenched in the Dakada initiative.
The Unit 4 Special Marshal Coordinator, Mr. Iniobong Umartan, said the unit's decision of turning their searchlight on the youth was a way of inculcating appropriate culture on safety and road usage in the younger generation. Mr. Umartan pointed that the competition was the first to be conducted by SMP units in the command, expressing belief that such for his interest in promoting safety.
That road safety club constitutes the 30th year of the road safety corps and was established as a means of teaching the younger generation with a view to incorporating in them the road safety culture as contained in the highway code and other relevant road safety books. This is to drive home the fixed road culture. The school also established have been having training and different activities to continually insist the students as we believe in the core 5-to-1 strategy. At
the end of the competition, Bright Star Model School Uyo went home with the first prize, while Community Secondary School Akalford emerged second, with Comprehensive Secondary School 4 Towns winning the third prize. Other participating schools included King's College Uyo, Fulga International School, Secondary School Etoi, and Community Secondary School Ikoto Kubo. Samuel Ayara reporting.
It was a celebration of God's benevolence when Prince and Princess Victor Edie dedicated their first baby, Ubongabasi, to God after waiting on the Lord for 16 years. The ceremony, which attracted the creme de la creme of the society, was held at Christian Assembly Incorporated, Uyo. The story.
Dedicating Master Ubongabasi Victor Edie, Bishop Moses Udo urged parents to treasure their children as precious gifts from God. He urged Prince and Princess Edie to train Ubongabasi in the way of the Lord so as to be well with him when he grows up, as well as give them peace in their old age. In his sermon, Reverend Wem Edwin challenged Christians to do away with ungodly behaviors capable of incurring generational curses. Preaching on the topic, "Arise for your spiritual uplift," Reverend Edwin traced long-suffering to the faulty family foundations laid by our forefathers and called for repentance.
Abraham came up fully as a man of faith. Remember, we're talking about family, not even Abraham. When you start up a family, be careful. Because when you put a written law for your family, if it is positive, it will follow them that way. If it is negative, it will follow them that way. Except you have a deliverance minister that is so powerful to break loose and people will be free.
During the Thanksgiving session, the parents of Master Ubongabasi, Prince and Princess Victor Edie, spoke glowingly of God's faithfulness upon their lives after 16 years of childlessness. Guests were later treated to mouth-watering delicacies at a reception which held at QIC School, Idoro, Uyo. Highlights of the ceremony was the cutting of the dedication cake.
Arrangements have been concluded by the Nwenang family of Ikorokubo Fort, Uyo, to pay their last respects to their son, father and grandfather, Elder James Joseph Umor, who died at 85. Before his demise on October 9, 2015, the late Elder James Joseph Umor was a Chief Executive Officer of James Eme Nigeria Limited, 199 Abak Road in Uyo. The late J.J. Umor a one-time member of the Akwa Ibom State Task Force on Petroleum, was a philanthropist and community leader who had served as president of the Nigerian Students Association in the United States of America Atlanta chapter and president of Fort Community in Lagos. A member of the United Evangelical Church founded as Kwaibo Church, the deceased served the church at various times as treasurer, president of the Men's Fellowship, and board member, Kwaibo Church Nursery School, Akar Road in Uyo. The remains of the late Elder J.J. Umo will be laid to rest Friday 30th October 2015 at his residence at number 1 Joseph Umo Street, Ikorokubo Fort, after a funeral to be conducted by the United Evangelical Church, Ikorokubo of Fort by 10 a.m. He is survived by his wife, Eme, 2 sons, 4 daughters, 16 grandchildren, and other relatives to mourn his exit. The family has invited petroleum marketers, other business associates, friends, in-laws, and other sympathizers to the funeral ceremony. President Muhammadu Buhari holds bilateral talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ahead of the India-Africa Forum on Climate Change and International Terrorism, scheduled to begin today, October 29, in New Delhi, India. And the Nigeria Senate conducts the final lap of ministerial screening. Mercy Ekere tells us more in our national and foreign news package.
India for the 3rd summit of the India-Africa Forum on Climate Change and International Terrorism, which is scheduled to open on Thursday, October 29. So far, the President has had some preliminary discussions with some officials in the country, including the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, whom he held bilateral talks. The Nigerian Senate has screened the remaining 5 ministerial nominees at the Harlow Chambers. 30 ministerial nominees had already been screened on previous dates. Before commencing the ministerial screening, 5 bills were presented for their first readings, including the Prevention and Punishment of Torture Bill 2015, Nigerian Biodiversity Bill 2015, Firearms Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2015, Counterfeit Goods Bill 2015, and the National Ecological Agency Bill 2015. During the ministerial screening exercise, the nominees answered a series of questions raised on the floors of the upper chambers. So far, 18 candidates have been confirmed as ministers by the Senate, including Senator Udo Udoma of Akwa Ibom State. Plenary has been adjourned to Thursday, 29th October. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Burutai, has decorated 2,903 soldiers with medals for fighting the Boko Haram insurgents at the war front zones in northeast Nigeria. The Army Chief said the sacrifices of the soldiers in protecting the country's sovereignty from enemies like Boko Haram terrorists would never be in vain. He added that the decoration of soldiers was part of the military's tradition to motivate its personnel at war fronts. Lieutenant General Burutai said he is optimistic that the December deadline to wipe out Boko Haram terrorists is obtainable, given the performances of soldiers. Ivory Coast's President Alassane Ouattara has returned for another 5-year term after winning the presidential elections with nearly 84% of votes. His main challenger was ex-Prime Minister Pascal Affi N'Guessan, who had 9% of the votes. In 2010, President Ouattara unseated Laurent Gbagbo. However, Gbagbo refused to concede defeat, sparking a crisis that left 3,000 people dead. Meanwhile, the former president is in The Hague at the International Criminal Court, awaiting trials for war crimes. The 73-year-old President Ouattara has been praised for transforming the economy of Ivory Coast, but has also been criticized for not doing enough in achieving reconciliation and justice in the country.
And with that package, we conclude our news this morning. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at akbc45uyo or on Facebook at akbc channel 45. And now to end the news, the top stories. The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, has called on women in the state to be steadfast in their support for Governor Udom Emmanuel, although the governorship petition election tribunal nullified elections in 18 local government areas of the state. She was addressing women at the Akwa Ibom International Airport shortly after returning to the state. We also brought you a report that this month's sanitation exercise has been suspended. That's our package. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend. Good morning.